Here is a hiking story from Finnish Lapland. It tells about two women, me and my friend, hiking through wilderness for 13 days, near Halti, the highest point of Finland. We took the quick and easy way straight to the heart of this rocky desert. Our seaplane flight from Käsivarsi was awesome, and you can relive it with us on another video on Finnish Country channel. It took about 10 minutes and saved us maybe 40 kilometers of walking. After landing, we walked to Halti's open hut. It was only 8 kilometers, and even the terrain was mostly slippery rocks. There was hardly any noticeable rise, and so it went fairly easy, even with our backpacks weighing over 20 kilos. Halti's old hut is one of the many open huts in this area that are free to use by all in need of a shelter. If you find yourself staying in one of these, please read the instructions that are found inside the hut. It is recommended to stay no longer than 1 or 2 nights. Always give room to others and leave the cabin in at least as good order as it was when you arrived. Most cabins have gas stove and wood to warm up the cabin. Halti's valley is very different to what I am used to see in Finnish nature. The valley is surrounded by the highest peaks we have, and basically everything you see is grey, white or red stone that turn very slippery for the smallest rain. Big and small moving boulders that cover everything and lace every path you're trying to walk. Weather changes quickly here, and thick fog might hide everything in a few moments, even if it had been sunny just moments ago. And actually there are warnings for hikers how that might happen unexpectedly. Phone connections work only on the highest peak, so if you fall off a cliff and break your leg, even with a friend helping you, you will have to wait a long time for the rescue to get you. Of course, Halti's unique nature is not all bad. There are some flowers that still flourish even in these rough conditions, and basically because of them. You don't find them anywhere else in Finland. Also, I have seen strange shaped clouds I have only seen while in this valley or visiting Norway's side. Halti's valley is definitely its own world. We stayed 3 nights in Halti Valley, using it as our base camp for short exploration trips. First day was quite sunny, and we climbed to Etuhalti, small Halti, saw the magnificent mountains of Norway, wandered the snow from last winter, and ate pretty much everything else as well. River that comes down from Halti forms, for my opinion, the most beautiful waterfall in Finland as it comes down to Lake Halti. Second day was more rainy and foggy. We knew the weather would change quickly, so we gambled a bit. It would either shine or rain as we would reach the top of Halti. We weren't so lucky as rain and fog robbed us from the scenery, but at least we got to climb to Halti's highest point on Norway's side. West side was rather steep to climb, so we decided to put safety first and returned down on marked Kalotti path, which was familiar to us from few years back. 4th day, and it was time to say goodbye to Halti Valley. Weather still kept us on our toes, as it was raining 1 minute, then sun, and then both at the same time. Well, that gave us rainbows. After midday, the wind grew strong. So strong it was hard to cross rivers without falling over or just try to stay upright when walking on rocks. As we stopped to eat lunch, we had to be very careful nothing would get loose and disappear to the wind, never to be seen again. Later we heard there had been storm readings. The walk from Halti to Kopmajoki was about 13 kilometers. Kopmajoki open hut is also very cozy cabin, made to fit 6 sleeping, but for now there were only us and few tents outside. This eastern side of the park is less popular than the path to the main attraction Halti. I've heard that fishers come here and continue towards south along the river Valti. Maybe it wasn't a good time to fish, since we saw only few fishers during the whole trip. Also, we came across some hikers traveling the Kalotti hiking trail, coming or going to Norway. And so did we. We visited Sommarhytta, which is a Norwegian counterpart for Finnish wilderness hut, and planned to spend the night there. But as the day passed, there were so many people we decided to go back to Kopmajoki to sleep in a tent. At least there was more coverage from the wind, and luckily by the evening the wind tuned down quite a lot. Sommarhytta was quite big and sturdy cabin made of heavy logs, a lot bigger than Kopmajoki hut, but it didn't stop either one of the cabins shaking in the wind. We could hear it, feel it, and also see it in the water container that shimmered as the wind blew against the cabin walls. It was quite an experience. Eventually we ended up spending 3 nights in Kopmajoki, much the same as in Halti, taking only light bags to carry on day trips. Here we met a nice German couple and a man traveling alone from all the way from Australia. We had a really nice time chatting with them for one evening spent in the hut. This area was a very curious looking place. There were a lot of small ponds, long grass, sand ridges covered in green growth and piles of round rocks. One day we hiked to Seitakivi, which is an old place of worship. Basically, it is a big rock that is believed to have powers beyond this world. If you wish something from this spirit, you had to make a sacrifice of something precious to you. It is up to Seita's spirit if it will think your present is worthy of its attention. I think on our 5th day of the hike we went for a swim in the pond, washed our hair in the cabin and also some clothes. It was a shame we didn't have sauna as the water in the pond wasn't warm, so that was really a maintenance day for us and the clothes. Very necessary since we wanted to keep our bags light and took very little anything extra with us, like shirts, socks and so on. Chocolate, of course, we had to have extra and some other important food stuff or something. Day 7 begins with climbing up to the sand ridge and heading towards Valtioki, to the south. Again, the scenery surprised us completely. But more about that in the next part.